indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For the Board of Zoning and Adjustments meeting, we have no new business tonight, so we will not call that one to order. For the Planning Commission meeting, David, do you want to do a roll call?
Kaylee?
Here.
Sandra?
Here.
Fallon?
Here.
Nancy?
Here.
Kim?
Here.
Jason?
Thank you, David. Does anyone have any adjustments to the agenda, or do we have a motion for approval of the agenda tonight?
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
A second. Nancy's made a motion to approve the agenda. Sandra seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's approved. Approval of the minutes. We have the June 1st and the June 6th meeting minutes. Oh, sorry, July 6th. Thank you, Nancy. Any comments or concerns with those? Do we have a motion to the floor?
I move we approve the minutes of the June 1st and July 6th meetings as presented.
Thank you. I'll second. Sorry. Nancy's made a motion, I seconded. All those in favor of approval of the June 1st and July 6th, 2026 planning meeting minutes? Say aye.
Aye.
Those are approved. At this time, we'll open it up for any public comments that are related to anything that's not on the agenda tonight. Is there anything that anyone is here in the audience they would like to discuss or comment on? I'll give us just a few moments if you wish to make a comment. Make your way to the podium. No comments, we'll move on for the evening. With RZ 2026-01, David, if you'll give us an update from the staff side of that.
This is the rezoning we've looked at a couple of times down on Brown Road. Property becomes approximately 5 acres. The applicant is proposing a split to concur with this, and they need to rezone the property, which currently is zoned agricultural. It's right at the 5 acre limit, and so there's a rezoning required. The two parcels both qualify for RE, and that's what they were proposing to have rezoned.
Thank you, David. Commissioners, do we have any comments, concerns, or motions for this one?
No, I think we beat this one today.
Everyone?
I move we approve the proposal.
What?
Sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry. One thing. One wrong out.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nancy's made a motion to approve RZ 2026-01 rezoning. Sandra seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Approved to submit to council.
Yes. Recommended on. That is recommended on to council. Thank you. SD 2026-02 for the lot split for Gus bid. David, that one's same property, but you want to go ahead and give us an update on the lot split side of that?
So, between the two staff reports, we had a picture of the plat. You can see where the new proposed line is. They have a tract 1, which is the parent parcel, or what would be the parent parcel, 1.97 acres, and then tract 2 showing 2.5 acres. When we looked at this previously, one of the items that was needed was the right-of-way dedication. So actually, from the previous time that we looked at this to now, the plat has changed slightly with the right-of-way dedication, having taken out some of the acreage on the two parcels. So, but this came in late last week as far as the revised plat. Really don't see any issues with what they're proposing from a planning standpoint.
Okay, thank you, David. Any comments on the commissioner side or the lot split side of this? public comments. Do we have a motion?
I move we approve the lot split.
Second.
Sandra's made a motion that we approve the lot split. Nancy has seconded that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That is passed for the lot split. All right, a public hearing for RZ 2026-04. David, can you give us an update from staff on that?
Yes, ma'am. So this is the property that's proposed to be at PCD. This is located at 2625 North Main Street. Also known as Highway 112. There's two parcels that are involved in this. It covers approximately 48 acres. They're on the west side of Highway 112. This is previously agricultural zone and used property. Has single-family residence on it. Future land use map shows this is like a mixed-use corridor, and based on what we're seeing on the PZ proposal, that falls fairly in line with the mixed-use corridor that proposes some commercial highway, residential in the back. I think there's still some things we're working through. We haven't had any new submissions at this point as of from the work session, but the applicant is here and I'm sure has some questions and things they want to work through. So I would invite them to come up and discuss with all at this time.
David,
Yes,
can you confirm if this is a public hearing? Our agenda says public hearing, but I want to confirm.
Yes.
It should be, right? Okay.
Yes. Sorry, that's where I got confused earlier. I was looking at the wrong line. I thought we had to do a public hearing for the other reason we already done that. So
Yeah.
that's where my confusion is.
I will let the applicant speak, give us a brief introduction to this, and then we'll open it up for any public comments pertaining to this.
Okay, I was gonna give him a second to get it pulled up so everybody.
Oh.
I mean, I can speak from this, but
No,
I can go. John Droz, 20 East Spring Street, Fayetteville. This is a 47.5 acre residential and commercial mixed use development. 25 acres will be developed into residential. 15.5 acres will be set aside for open space and buffering between the commercial, and then it's 7.144348, 7 and some change in commercial along Highway 112. In the last work session, the big change we made was this stub street that heads north. As opposed to bringing it back south, we went ahead and made this future connection, but we didn't propose the road to go all the way to the neighbor's property as it's owner occupied right now, but use that future connection, and we still have the future connection to the south. This is the renderings. I don't think these have really changed since the work session. This is the same conceptual commercial space that we were looking at. So this is a basic rendering of the homes that will be built. And then there was the rendering of the park space as well. The one thing that I just noticed in the text that we may need to update, And the nature of the lot is that there's a high pressure gas line that runs along 112 and some easement work and some DOT work that's being done. So with commercial development, I feel like there's always two ways to do it. You either place the building right on the road and park behind it, or place the building at the back and do the parking in the front. With the high pressure gas line, it kind of limits the depth that we can use for the commercial space. So what we need to do is adjust one section of the text that says 60% of the parking up front and 40% in the back, because I just don't know that we physically have the space to park it that way. I think we would be able to get 20% of our parking in the back for a back of house and employee use of those commercial spaces, and then 80% of it up front. So what we would be needing to do is change, and I can't remember the section. I can give it to you real quick. Section it's in Exhibit D, Section 8. Says no more than 60% of the off-street parking for the entire property should be located between the front facade and the front yard. And given the DOT improvements and the high-pressure gas line, I think it makes the lots more marketable and more usable at 80%. And I think it is a more traditional commercial space, and when we talked to the planner, we felt like, you know, everyone's headed towards putting buildings up on the road, but without the ability to do that here, I think we're going to have to push the buildings back to a more traditional commercial look and go with the 80% up front. I think that's about all we had that's any different than what we've worked on in the last couple work sessions. If there's any questions, or I can wait till after public comment, great.
Thank you. David, sorry, do you have any other information to add to that before we open up for comment?
Not at this time. Nothing new has been submitted since the board session.
I'll open the floor to public comment. If you have anything you would like to state on this, concerns, questions, anything, please come up to the podium, state your name, and give us your comments. If there are no comments, I will close public hearing for this, or public comments, and we'll discuss amongst ourselves. Any questions or concerns for the applicant from the commissioners?
No, I think that would need to be corrected, because that would be the parking issue.
So is this an update from the work session when we had all the discussion? Yes.
Yes.
When's all done with this?
Last week.
So don't put it in the
Essentially, all of the days were released of it. There was nothing else that came out of the work session other than to send that stuff straight to the question about lighting.
Yeah.
We said we felt like the 75-foot buffer plus our city lighting standards were sufficient to cover the lighting.
I can see that.
Yeah. Like, I was under the assumption that, y'all were still working on these, and it was not working. Because nothing had said that.
So your comments, staff recommendation is, we're not ready?
Well, that was my assumption because nothing had been resubmitted from the work session comments.
Anything outstanding that wasn't addressed?
I haven't seen this, but it's today. We've not been able to review
The
anything
revised
that you have just been
PCD
doing. Yes.
document.
So in the work session, the only thing that was brought up was the substreet and the lighting standards. And I feel like the current lighting code covers the lighting standards in combination with the buffer that we're putting in place between the residential and the commercial. And then all the substreet exhibits have been updated. There was one other thing that came up in the work session about the 2 road sections. We have continued to use the second road section for the larger estate lots. If that is still a point of contention, or if somebody has any concerns with it, we are willing to adjust back to the 1 road section. However, I think it's a great section for the estate lots in the back.
So regarding your lot size, are they falling within, I mean, I realize it's a PCD, but are they falling within, R2 or R3 or as far as setbacks?
I think the base zoning's RS3, and it had, and I can't remember which percentage. We made some of the percentages a little larger, but I can't remember what that was. But the base zoning was RS3.
Because I just know the difference.
The narrative says the front setback is 25, and that means R1 and past that. And side setback is that's 5. Yeah, on the setbacks in the rear. Where's the lighting reference in this document?
We were silent on the lighting because we felt like the city code covers it. We are happy to add a section that says per city code within it.
Yeah, I think it needs to be mentioned that it will be compliant with the existing code.
Okay.
And have you proposed to reword the parking placement?
The parking placement, all of the concepts that we have currently done in-house have the parking out front, so all the parking.
No, I mean, just the verbiage.
We were just gonna change,
No more than 60.
yeah, adjust from 60 to 80.
Okay. Question, yeah.
Yeah.
On the roads where there's no curb and gutter,
Mhm.
could you explain what that looks like?
Yeah, so the edge of the road, it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like a county road, but they put a concrete header in it
Okay.
so that the asphalt doesn't start to crumble off. Yeah, and then it's a concrete header and then
Okay.
comes down.
Ribbon curves,
Okay.
kind of normal motherfucking board.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're discussing that, but that needs to be shown, not just asphalt to be.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was.
And like I said, we are happy to just remove the secondary option. It is something we've seen in larger neighborhoods, but maybe it's not appropriate in this size neighborhood and makes it confusing anyway. So we're happy to just strike the second option and just go to the one pavement section for everything.
The modified curve section.
Yeah, just the option one, I think is what it's in there as, and it's just a standard, basically your standard sections.
some kind of height limit in the commercial design standards?
There was discussion about where the height limit came into play, measured from the rear, or, from the street. I don't know if there's been any work.
Yeah, that's where I had been.
I know we had talked about the residential plate height, and I apologize, I missed the first work session, so I wasn't here for the first work session to hear that fire code's going to restrict us to essentially 30 feet, and be able to still put a fire lane in there. If we can, we'd be happy to add a height restriction of 30 feet in there if that would suffice.
Yes. Something in there that says on the lighting and
Yeah.
form to.
Yeah, no, we'll put both those items in Exhibit D before we take it to council to say 30-foot height restriction and then
Okay.
lighting per city standards. We did look at the lighting and I think it allows some at the property line, so we may just put a zero cut off at that back property line because I think all we'll have on that back is wall packs from that back of house area on those commercial spaces. So we'll just refer to city standards to make it clean.
Any other questions from the commission? All right, we will close out the public hearing completely and go into the next item on the agenda, RZ 2026-04, the rezoning for the same property. David, I don't know if you want to speak on the rezoning portion of it.
I mean, we've gone through, I think they had a work session where they came and just discussed with you and then officially submitted. We've gone through kind of one work session with the document itself. We've not, from the staff level, been able to review what we have before us tonight, to be honest with you. I know there were some items from the previous work session that we were wanting to address. I think there's some items we discussed tonight that we'd like some clarification on, whether it's the street section. We won't have that one street section, that ribbon curve, or take it out. There definitely need to be some revisions done to this before it goes to city council.
With that, do we have any further things that we want to add in that, or does the applicant want to speak to what items they are offering to update prior to taking this before council?
So I think the items we were looking to update is we're going to remove the second option on the street section. We are going to add a line about the city lighting code for the commercial. We were going to add a height restriction to the commercial to 30 feet and adjust the parking ratio on the commercial to 80%.
Was that everything on our list, or was there anything missed?
That's everything I had.
If there's nothing further, are we open for a motion tonight, or are we, what are we?
Well, I think we, they want to review everything, I guess, in more detail than you do. But I don't have a problem with, we're okay conceptually conditional on staff approval of the final PZD document.
Yeah, I think there's some things we definitely need to look at and we can work through.
Are you comfortable with doing that and us?
Yeah, like so, me and Adam were talking, like there's some things from an engineering standpoint and like public works director to look at it from a street standpoint, if the one section is something that we actually want, to allow those kind of things, so.
I think they were gonna change that street. You were gonna change
Yes.
it all to curb.
I think he said he was removing that.
Yeah, we're gonna remove that before it goes before the council.
But just in general, other holistic areas of the staff, the water department, the public works department, looking at the locations of things.
And anything we can do to help facilitate those conversations, let us know. We can be on a meeting or whatever you guys need.
Would you be more comfortable if we waited until we had everything revised in front of us? Or are you okay with you guys, other than that, let's discuss it?
It's a pretty quick turnaround, getting it tonight, but I think
No, we have, I think, 4, and they removed 3 items before us as a commission to decide if we will want to make a motion on this contingent upon staff finalizing it. It's a long document, so just a reminder, our role is to recommend on to the council. It's not, we're not approving it by any means.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'll make a motion that we recommend approval of the revised PZD document, subject to staff approval of those changes and additions and whatever remains. I'm done with engineering.
Right. Nancy's made a motion that we recommend this on to council, contingent upon approving everything the staff works through with the applicant. Kaylee has seconded that. I, for the record, will recuse myself as a member of the design team. With that, everyone else in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes on council.
well, we have that for, was there anybody opposed?
No, it's a.
Okay.
We'll move on to a public hearing for RZ 2026-05, a PZD update for Trillium Development Company. David, if you want to go ahead and give us a staff update on that before we open up.
Yes, ma'am. I think we have looked at this property enough in the past, everybody's aware of where it's at. Murdoch Road encompasses roughly 5 parcels. There is an existing PCD document that governs a existing preliminary platted subdivision that's under construction. The applicant is proposing to make some changes to the PCD document, to the drainage plan, and then to also take out some of the smaller home lots, single-family detached home lots, and replace them with attached single-family zero-lot home lots. You've got a copy of the proposal in your packets, but the future land use in that area is neighborhood residential. When looking at that, the primary uses of single-family detached homes, attached residential housing, 2, 3, 4-unit residential townhomes. Those are some of the things that are actually called out in the residential for that area. It does have general density of 4 to 8 dwelling units per acre. I will again let the applicant come up and discuss this with you.
Yes. Welcome back, Giles.
Good evening, planning commissioners. Kyle Smith from Leadership Properties. First, my apologies for the mix-up last week,
I
but
hope you bought him dinner.
well, I was going to say thank you for helping me haze the new guy and also for sending him back unharmed. David, is it possible to share onto the screen for Besson? I hope that goes up there as quick as I think it's going to. David, I don't know.
The old song and dance, obviously, you know, that part, it's tiny, but we need to follow.
Saying your thing.
It should. I mean, it should be. Oh, I didn't have it. It popped up and recognized me. I also sent it to you in an email, David, if that's. Oh. No good. Wait, hang on again. There's me. Nothing. You want to try that? Sorry, I thought that was going to go quick and smooth. Is not okay. Well, I will just talk through it then. There's three main changes that we're looking at, and this is the currently approved plan with the red hatch areas that we're looking to change. But basically, like David said, green space layout are things that you have already seen in our preliminary plat that we wanted to go back and take this opportunity to update the zoning document to reflect the conversation that's happened since then. On the interior central part of the project, we're looking to add some additional housing options. And then there was an issue at the north edge where we had some conflicts with the overhead power easements and needed to find another solution to make those lots buildable. So, I'm going to go to the second page on that. I will skip over the I'll skip over the green space because we've talked, unless anybody's got questions about that. It was the main goal was to reduce the grading and storm pipe and get some more.
Did you reduce it further from what it was?
So actually the changes here increase the overall green space from 14% as originally approved to 19% as proposed here. We reduced the grading and the dirt moving, but increased the green space by daylighting the drainage system. No word yet on whether we're going to be able to fit the trail in there along that they suggest for, but we're working on it. The main part that I suspect we'll want to talk about most tonight is there at the roundabout where current Murdoch takes its bend, I believe. Can you zoom in on that section? There you go. Currently, it is our 50-foot garden home that that's approved, and we're looking to take the ones on those two street frontages and replace those with a 24-foot attached format. It's been 2 years since we started this process with y'all, and this is a response to changing market conditions. There's been a lot of talk in the area about the need for additional options in housing formats, and this would provide a smaller unit at a lower price point and access to a broader swath of the community. We have tried to keep this internal to the project. You'll notice everything is that we're proposing a change here faces a street that will only have other neighbors that we're bringing. Nobody on the outside of this section will have to experience this particular change. And we've really tried to take care of the streetscape here. The original garden homes there, you notice they were all facing towards the street, away from the common area. And really what we found is the thing that makes those appealing is their fronting that common courtyard. And so it's the ones that did not face the courtyard that we're looking to make adjustments to. I can pause there if you've got questions, or I can go on to the third section.
Question
Yes, ma'am.
on the new attached, what's the square footage of the homes?
They're not designed yet. We're just looking at the land dimensions at this point, and if it's approved, then we will go design plans to fit.
There's got to be a lot in there though.
I can say that the garden, one of the motivating factors here is the garden homes that we have are a little too big for the market, square footage wise. So we want to reduce those, and we don't want to have an option that was reduced even more. So 1,400 to 2,000, 2,200.
I think we're trying to create an affordable tier, something that
More.
workforce more affordable.
I will not put the capital A on that. I'm not going to make promises I can't keep.
Yeah, we know.
But
Well, they were the smaller ones, yeah.
all right. So then the third section is up at the north edge, and hope in the printout that I gave you can kind of see the photo of the power line that's there. In the original design, we thought that we had a straight line power easement through the back, and the goal was to move it to the property line. It turns out that is actually the place where 2 3-phase power lines on the same pole have to split. And Mr. Gunn back here is going to cringe if I try and get too technical with it, but there is a limit to the way there are design parameters for how that has to align on the pole. And so our attempts to reduce that and relocate it were not going to be successful without putting guy wires off into his horse pasture. And we were worked through several options on that and decided that the power line can stay where it is, and we will come back and ask you all for an alternative to work around it. So the goal here is to use those same attached units that are a smaller footprint, a shallower house, so that we can fit those into the buildable area before we get into power easement. They would still have the same front setbacks because of the utility easement in the front yard. The intent here is to rear load those through a shared central driveway. They would have rear garages, some additional guest parking in the back, and to point out the original PZD included a commitment to some landscaping screening and perimeter fencing for these neighbors to the north and to the east there. And this proposal will approximately triple the landscape buffer that we're able to provide there. And that's our best attempt to work through the challenges in this area. So I hope that is something that will meet with y'all's approval. Any questions?
Nowadays, you have one question.
Yeah.
So we lose potentially that last one. Number wise, would that work for you? Look how that last one to the far right, it's just squished in there.
The goal here was for them to be able to use the same building, they're just symmetrical. So,
Just keep it.
yeah. So we've got the 25 foot utility easement on what will be Trillium Boulevard there, and it's approximately the match on the other side. And again, the fencing, the perimeter fence commitment is still shown here.
So when we reviewed, the pocket homes was like the big selling push. So I am not a big proponent to really adjust what was already approved, especially when we put a lot of homes already in this area. To add additional homes just seems like a lot.
So
We're adding 32 additional housing units, right?
I think it is an overall increase of 24 net across all four sections. I can get back
What
and
was
add those up.
approved was
But
a total of 296 units, and what's being proposed now is 328, which would be a difference of 32.
sorry, I think I know. Our site plan may include a couple of lots in the southeast portion that are not actually part of the PZD, but are standard zoning in that cutout of it. So that may be the discrepancy in the numbers a little bit there. Overall, our overall zone density here is 3.4 units per acre, even with the proposed attached units. Like I said, we've managed to increase the overall green space 5%. And what I would argue for the benefit of the city of Cave Springs is what this does is let us put 24 or 32 more households in essentially the same footprint. The utility infrastructure is the same. The amount of paved streets are the same. So we can serve additional households here without incurring additional long-term maintenance costs on the city.
Traffic would be increased with this too.
Well, listening to the residents before, they were already feeling also and very much vocalized that they didn't want the amount that we had approved. And so we really have to take that into consideration. In my opinion, there's ways to go about getting that housing that you wanted, but it would be in reducing your overall count versus adding in other areas, some of your bigger lots.
I made notes back when we did the original approval because I had asked about the size of the houses. And what I have written down here was the pocket neighborhoods with 0 lot lines, the house sizes were going to range between 2,200 and 3,000 square feet. The small lots, 2,400 to 2,700. Medium, 2,700 to 2,900. So, I mean,
Yeah, I think our current position on garden homes is that they would be a little bit smaller than that, but everything else holds true.
okay, garden home is not used anywhere in any of these documents. Which
Sorry,
ones are you referring to?
We had two pocket neighborhood. 2 years that our vocabulary has drifted a little bit. Yeah.
Yes.
The pocket neighborhoods. Yeah.
Okay. I had another question on the. Let's see. The garages. So the small lots were going to all be rear loading garages. I'm thinking now it looks like that's different.
All of those should remain, and the attached units would access and load cars through the same house. The only difference would be the north part where the 5 72-foot wide lots currently approved are front loading, and the proposed attached units would be rear loading there. There was one adjustment to this alley. It previously went to the south to Blazing Star Lane, and so that the attached units could continue that streetscape on Blazing Star instead of being the only ones on Murdoch facing that direction. We reoriented that alley out to the east. So that's the only access change that should be in this section.
Anything further development? If not, we will go into
Any public hearing?
So at this time, I'll go ahead and open us up for a public hearing for this. If you have a comment, please approach the podium, state your name and address, please, and then go ahead and give us your comments.
Hi, good evening. My name is Matt Mullen, and I own the property immediately adjacent on 3 sides to Totem Development. I appreciate the work that has gone into the application. My comments aren't about whether or not attached housing is appropriate. They're about whether the record before the commission is complete enough to support the findings you're being asked to make. The staff report states that the amendment changes the affected areas, and you guys have already alluded to it a little bit, from 30 previously approved lots to 59 attached dwelling units, and modifies the drainage plan. While the applicant describes the overall increase across the entire development as relatively modest, the portions actually being amended are increasing by nearly 97%. Because of that level of change, I believe details matter. As I reviewed the applicant's narrative, I found one section that I needed clarity on. On page 5, under planning alignment, change area 4, right here highlighted at the very bottom, the applicant states this portion is not included in this amendment at this time, but we anticipate bringing a second PZD amendment after the annexation and sale are finalized. Then on page 6, I've highlighted here, the consistency analysis refers repeatedly the change area 4 drainage channel is supporting the findings regarding open space and natural features. That leaves me with 3 questions that I cannot answer from the record. First, what specific portions of change area 4 is approval being sought for tonight? And what specific portions are being deferred to the second PZD amendment? Second, if another PZD amendment is already anticipated to complete additional changes to this development, what is the planning benefit to considering these amendments separately instead of evaluating the complete proposal together? Third, would it be more appropriate for the commission to evaluate whether this amendment stands on its own merits without relying on improvements of change area 4 that the applicant has identified for a future PZD amendment? And finally, the staff report indicates that the drainage plan is changing, and I was unable to locate the engineering analysis or downstream drainage calculations supporting those revisions in the public packet. Before voting, I would respectfully ask where those engineering findings can be found. I'm not asking the commission to deny this application. I'm simply asking that the findings supporting today's decision be based on what is actually before the commission today, supported by evidence in the record, rather than on assumptions about future amendments being approved. Thank you.
Do we have anyone else that would like to make public comment on this?
Steve Morris, 9588 Phillips Lane. Property directly adjacent to this PZD, proposed PZD, approved PZD. I guess from a cursory review of the proposal, there's a net increase in housing units, and as was stated previously, it looks like 32 from your count. That's been questioned by the developer, but that's what I came up with too, was 32. So I think there's some questions here. Are you willing to allow development creep after the fact? And I appreciate the dialogue that's already been presented, and I thank you for remembering the history back to 2024 of some of the citizens' concerns. And we circulated a petition with about 70 to 80 names on it. I can't honestly say whether all of you have seen it. So are you willing to approve further densification of the area land? Are you willing to move forward with development without regard or planning of adequate infrastructure? It's been touched on tonight by Matt, by the board. Adding 32 units isn't nothing. It's a stress on the infrastructure that is yet to be placed there. We still haven't addressed the congestion, the traffic, the personal safety, speed limits, load limits, hours of operation for this development, lighting impact, noise, and more recently, with all the land turnover up there, vibratory compactors have made quite an impact to the surrounding properties. We'll see what that holds for the future. So the original plat had a density of 3 units per acre. The proposed, as stated, is roughly 3.2 to 3.1, so it's an increase. And might look insignificant, almost 10%. But I want you to compare that with what exists there today and what existed there before this PZD. We had basically a unit density of 0.45. So what we're looking at is 7 times the density, housing density. That's not necessarily 7 times population density. That could be a lot more. But just think, if your taxes increase 7 times, your medical costs increase 7 times, your insurance costs 7 times. I don't think many people would sit back and casually accept that. And we as citizens need to be heard, need to be understood, need to be respected. Because this is our land, this is our life too. We can all look forward to new neighbors, new developments. Great, we know there's growth going to happen. But we've got an existing fabric here, an existing culture, and we really would hate for that to be destroyed. If development continues, and Matt touched upon this too, there's land acquisition going on every day, it seems like here. So if this developer gets another 10 acres, 13 acres, 11 acres, and tries to add that to this, do we just roll with it? It just folds into this thing, or do we demand that it be looked at separately? Personally, my wife and I have been harassed by this out-of-state developer and his group calling and texting my wife without permission on her personal cell phone that was given out by this city. I just recently went to Tulsa this past week and saw a lot of subdivisions, some established, some still new. But all I got from that was loss of culture, a loss of scenery. Everything's AI, seemingly. It's all a plant here, a plant there, a sidewalk there, a sidewalk here. Nothing I'd like to live in. It just looked very sterile. And I guess I ask you, when do we start reining this in and slowing it down and thinking and really planning for it? I hope you have the power to do that and listen to the citizens, because we have to live with all the results. We don't plan on going anywhere. Our neighbors don't either. And I love what's projected for Cave Springs. Try to revive the culture. We were looking at videos the other day from parades that we had downtown decades and years ago. Gives you a sense of pride. But that's being eaten away as we just allow sprawl to happen. So please consider these questions and points in your future planning. Thank you.
Do we have any other comments on this matter?
My name is Tim Manzella. I live at 5705 South 61st Street in Rogers, and I own property adjacent to the development. on the southeast here. Just wanted to kind of bring up a point. There were 2 properties that were acquired by the developer. I believe they are parcels 1809344000 and 1809344003, which are part of my subdivision, which is just adjacent and have covenants on are in place. And based on this, it looks like that area has multiple houses on those properties, which would be in violation of those covenants. So I think that needs to be resolved before those properties could be included in this plat.
And what subdivision is that with the covenants?
It's Sun Ridge subdivision. Sunset Ridge, excuse me. Yeah. Please go to work. Sure.
Are there any further comments on this project? If not, I will go ahead and close public hearing for the matter, and we will discuss it as a commission. Thank you. Calvin, do you want to go ahead and answer or comment back on any of these items?
Sure, I think I can clarify a couple of things here. Mr. Mullen had some questions about change area 4. And change area 4 is only updating the zoning to incorporate what were at the time considered minor changes to the preliminary plat. The drainage review was all done during preliminary plat review, and that has been approved. So those are in the public record, but just not attached to the PZD because they were resulting. So this is a sort of a backward-looking reconcile of all paperwork there. As far as the deferred, let you know that we will probably come back with another revision. That is because we're in the process of acquiring other property adjacent to it, and we talked about that also at the preliminary plat. We intend to move our clubhouse to which was originally up in that area that's being changed for drainage, to the house currently owned by Danny and Marilyn Beaver. We just aren't, just to the south.
Okay.
Do you have a pointer you can put on that? Okay. We just aren't prepared to bring that yet because the transactions are still pending, and so that's part of the issue there. But I didn't want to keep the secret and remind you that we've discussed that, and as this develops over years, we will probably come back and adjust that. The properties that Mr. Menzel pointed out over here, I wish that I had my visual aids for you because they show the outline of what is the PZD and what is the other parcels, and those were annexed into the city under R3 zoning. The lots that are through there they meet both requirements, kind of the common denominator lots. And the covenants that you referred to the covenants are private agreement, and cities don't generally have a role in enforcing those. So, guess if you have any other questions that I need to address that I'm leaving hanging, I guess I would say that Mr. Morris discussed infrastructure, and he's right. There's not any infrastructure there now, but there is a whole lot of infrastructure under construction as we speak. In fact, they're probably still moving dirt out there right now. So there will be streets and there will be utilities, and the city started the ball rolling on that when they put in the water line and said, "Hey, we've got the capacity here. We're working with the city on the water tower location." So I think there has been a lot of planning that has gone into this, very careful planning over, like I said, several years. So,
I have a question.
yes, ma'am.
You're saying that the drainage was approved before we started all of this?
So there was the first PZD review, and then we submitted our preliminary plat. And in the course of developing the preliminary plat and costing that with the contractors, made some design changes that have been reviewed and approved and are currently under construction.
But not with the increased number of houses.
Correct. The increased number of homes, like I said before, is essentially the same footprint. We have not, we've not added any additional impervious surface, which is usually
still
what.
have this increased number of homes that require an increased amount of drainage.
So drainage is usually a product of impervious surface, and so by replacing a 50-foot lot line to lot line home with 224s, we're
Actually, if you count the number of people in those homes, that's going to require more drainage. If you have more homes.
I'm sorry, do you mean sanitary sewer instead of?
Either way.
Okay.
Either way, there's still.
So the drainage comes from the rainfall, and Adam can correct me if I'm oversimplifying, but more people aren't going to cause more water from the sky. But you're right, they will flush more toilets. And so what we originally have sized from our engineers was an 8-inch service line. We have cost shared, well, I hope we will cost share with the city. We haven't brought the final documents on that yet. But the city asked us to increase to an 18 and 15-inch line to serve additional capacity to the north all the way to Cemetery. So we are installing the much larger pipe to accommodate all of that additional infrastructure.
Can I ask a point of clarification?
Sure, go ahead.
So if you guys haven't done another stormwater drainage study since you proposed this amendment, then why on page 6, when you state no negative impact, you explicitly cite change area 4, which is not included in the original study in improving stormwater management?
Change order 4 is part of the original, and
change area 4 was not. I know the Beavers own that property.
No, I'm sorry, that's not, change order 4 refers to the west, change area 4 is the west part of the subdivision.
Change area 4 is that house right there.
So I think.
Which will be your future clubhouse. And it's about 100 feet from my property.
So if I can show you here, what we're talking about, the changes are layout changes here.
Correct. But whenever you look at the map, that it has the hatched proposals on it. That's it.
No, it says change order area 4 on it.
That is not exactly
And I also wonder if the 19% green spaces you cited earlier include change area 4.
I apologize. That is not what is referenced in the documents that we received.
It's a big point.
Yeah,
it's a big factor.
That is the section that we referred to as expect to come back later, but is not intended to be part of this request, and so we may have an old version of some documents that are mixed in the packet. We'll be happy to get with David and verify that we are all working from the same copy.
Can you explain a little deeper on how you're increasing the green space but adding the additional houses?
Yeah, so like I said, was trying to explain before, the additional units fit on the same footprint as the old units for the most part, with a little bit of adjustment at that north edge. But for the pocket neighborhoods, those are more or less a one-for-one footprint change, even with the smaller units. The original plan had the yellow lots all through that western area that's now the overland drainage and green space. And we also added some additional green space over here on the east side where another couple of lots were.
So does that mean that it
The additional green space? Yeah, it's predominantly from this west side here.
So their lot's not smaller.
No, if you, so on the bottom of the, yeah.
Cal, do you have these before and after?
I do. That's what I was hoping to put on screen that we never could get connected.
Sorry, I think some of the confusion, I mean, I will say it for myself as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can see as well as I can from there, the date on all of these. So we have 3 black and whites that don't have any indication that we can read at night.
Gotcha. I didn't realize your copies
So
were
I have
broken.
no idea which one is current, old, concept for future. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
I tried to send you nice readable ones by email that you could zoom in and look at as big as you wanted to. So,
So this view should show the forward vector of the drainage areas.
So, Chad, for us up here, the one on the left is the old one, and the one on the right is the new one. The one on the left is the old, the one on the right is the new. So we can see where we are accounting for
Right.
additional green space on the right. Is there a lot count reduction over there, or?
it was 1-to-1.
It's a tricky puzzle, I bet.
It was. The pond and the amenities move is what accounted for that.
And was it thought that the trail might go through that green space? Is that what we're working through?
We wanted to, you wanted it to, if I recall correctly, we were having some issues with the width of the channel and the minimum slopes, and that was, we think, when we went back to revise to reduce the amount of fill, we're right at the edge of whether or not we'll have the space to put that in, and so at this point I'm waiting for all the field changes to see if there's enough flat space at the top for it. So.
I say, if not a trail, what's the vision for that? Is it just an open park space, like green grass is growing, we're gonna keep it mowed, or is it like?
Well, I mean, its primary function will, of course, be conveying stormwater, but when it's dry in between ponds now, and so when it's dry, it'll be a space that's available.
Part of the drainage that was studied for that area was to naturalize the bottom of the channel so it looks more naturalized as a dry stream when there's no water in it.
So do we think that, I know that's on the design side, but do we anticipate there being like rock brought in or anything like that to make it more like a natural, like a dry creek stream bed? Is that what we're
It's
having?
been designed that way.
Do we have any concerns over that area? I don't really see any concern with that. More green space is always better.
It's really just part of consistency and here as far as holding the developers to making sure they're putting in these bike trails and things like that. So that's really my concern.
So on the left side of it, I don't see really any concern. On the, you want to shift over to the next area?
But now I think we've got my presentation up for you now. We just had to move it from one computer to the next. So there's the side by side on what we're referring to as change area 4.
Change area 4.
And this is our change areas 1 and 2.
You have a new spelling for variety.
It was, I had 22. I had 22 minutes to get over here when I was typing that, so I apologize.
He wasn't gonna miss it in.
In my defense, I did ask Chad to pray for everything.
I'm gonna do one today, very
Yeah. And then here is the up close and the reason for the change on the left side.
Of all of them, this is the one area that gives me the most pause, I'll be honest.
This is the most imperfect solution
Yes.
to a problem that we worked around for months.
Yes.
And stood out in the Gunnam's backyard with the horses a couple of times and decided that they didn't need to the guy wires over there that it would take to relocate that. So
My understanding correctly, this particular area wasn't made available to the public. Is that?
This should be the what I'm understanding is that the version that went out to the public had an additional area that I'm not asking for tonight.
I need to understand.
There was a previous draft that had a change area 5 in it that we pulled out, and apparently an old document got in the mix, so I apologize for that.
If I may say, on page 5 it says change area 4 is pending contract, is seeking annexation into the city of Cave Springs, and will be included in a future amendment. Those three things are all true for that residence that's there. And also alluded to that there is an existing structure on that property that can be used as a clubhouse. The area that he's currently stating is change area 4 is pasture right now, whereas that area was previously a 10-acre lot. They have split, where they own approximately 5 acres. I don't know. That's under contract. And there is
It's actually not.
And that's all that we discussed that with you during preliminary
it
plat.
states on page 5 that it's under contract.
We will be bringing that back in the future, I hope.
I'm just still unclear on what change area 4 is.
Change area 4 is on screen, and there is no.
There isn't a structure over there that could be used as a clubhouse, which is in your file.
So like clear to say, maybe we have a little bit of a cleanup in the language. Is that, David, what we need to do? Since this went out as, I just want to verify that whenever we went out for public hearing, we are, respecting the public, and that is the information we're discussing here tonight. So if the applicant is stating that this is change area 4, then we need to make sure that our language that is submitted with the application states that.
I would appreciate an opportunity to get with David and make sure that we are all talking about the same documents that we intend to be asking for, so that you're making informed decisions on the same set of facts. And we will, I wish that we had discovered this at your work session, and I apologize for that, but we will, I'm sure, have it resolved by your next work session.
What y'all have that shows change area 4 with the clubhouse area is what the center of the policy.
Okay.
So is for me, what went out to the public, is that what I have here?
Yes. Yeah. If anybody asks for anything, they didn't get a black off the so they got it there. Yeah. But the PDF that Kyle sent all of y'all last week or a week or two ago, this is that. That's what he said.
Okay.
Yes.
In my writing, I don't have a change area 4.
Well,
Are you planning alignment?
if you look at the pictures, the first 3 pages,
It's on there.
the very bottom where the house is, that is in discussion, it shows change area 4 at 3 additional lots and neighborhood amendment lot. This is also where the difference in the lot counts is coming in.
That makes sense.
We were discussing earlier that I even answered the question prior. So that's where some of the differences in what I had previously counted up with the changes in the attached single-family lots, and then there was some discrepancies in total lots, was because he included these lots down there in that. So
There is some confusion.
there's Some people want to
part of, we had initially planned to bring this right now. As Bob said, it is not currently under contract, and so we pulled that out and decided that we could pursue, we could accomplish everything we want to accomplish down there with standard zoning, and so not complicate the PZD with it. Apparently, I accidentally complicated the PZD anyway, and again, we will work real hard to clean that up in the next couple of days.
I have a question in reference to what one of the gentlemen said about the Sunset Ridge subdivision. There are 2 parcels that are part of this application that I believe you indicated are in that subdivision.
You want to take it over there?
Can you show me where they are?
So this is the currently approved PZD, and the next one is the proposed, but you'll notice the site plan extends past the boundary of the PZD here on the east side. There's a white outline there that shows what is PZD. The other remaining part is R3. And the lots that are proposed on there are consistent with the PZD intent to the south, but compliant with the R3 zoning that's on the property. So it's an integrated site plan, but it's split zone a little bit there.
So for clarification, should those lots be shown on the PZD document?
So we showed them for your information, but there's a note, the note on there says this is excluded from the PZD. If we don't show them, then you've got dead-end streets from both sides that don't go anywhere.
So with the intent with the clubhouse in the future,
Just be loud, it's okay.
would the intent with the clubhouse in the future be that it will come in and join this PZD, or will that be, we're meeting all of our requirements on this property and just rezone it separately? Is it trying to join in with the PZD? I'm trying to understand the change.
It is currently in the city of Bentonville, so there's no jurisdiction to put it in the PZD here at this time.
And do you anticipate, if it remains in Bentonville by chance, the clubhouse would have a Bentonville address?
Unfortunately, I think all of this has a Bentonville address because it's served by the Bentonville Post Office. So I say unfortunately, I shouldn't be nice to our neighbors to the north. Sorry.
Well, I guess, commissioners, do you have any other comments or questions, concerns?
Hey, Cal, what's your plan for drainage if you put in your initial, the 2 big buildings? What kind of drainage are you looking at? Years, slope, how drainage is it?
It should drain to there's a large drainage pipe in the middle of that median on the boulevard.
I'm just curious.
I'm gonna go sit down and see y'all in 2 weeks, I hope.
Are you asking Bob? Go ahead.
So, Bob David, developer, evil man.
Out of stater.
Yeah, really that too. We really come to you with this request because we feel like Cave Springs needs some additional product. And the patio homes, garden homes that we have built previously that face a street are not as appealing to the buying public. We feel like the streetscape would be better if it was townhomes. If you all don't see your way to approve that, we totally understand. We will build the homes that we've already planned. I want to cover one thing as it relates to infrastructure and congestion and all of that.
There are some people here tonight that we have engaged with and we have purchased right away. They're not inside the city of Cave Springs. They are residents that live in the county, and in order to do the roadway improvements, we have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy that right of way, and then we will spend hundreds of thousands more to build the roads to a standard that's acceptable to the county and also to Cave Springs. So when certain residents talk about infrastructure, we are making every effort to build the infrastructure the way that we would build it if we had 100% support. We've tried to buy certain right-of-way from certain property owners, and they're unwilling to talk to us, unwilling to sell that. So when I hear people say congestion and infrastructure is not going to be satisfactory, that would be on them to some degree, because we're willing to purchase that right-of-way and build the infrastructure the way that you all would want us to do it. But we can't do it because we have resistance. And that's their choice. It's their property. They can do whatever they want. We've asked for cooperation and we've not gotten it. So we come tonight, Kyle did a great job of explaining all the details and technical side. The drainage doesn't change, does it, Adam?
And change our area for.
If we had townhomes versus garden homes.
It just all depends on the impervious area it's added. If you have driveways, rooftops, those type of items.
It's all the same.
It would change if you're adding that area. If it's
Right.
the same area, then the amount of stormwater that runs off does not change.
But as an example, two 1,500 square foot units are equal to one 3,000 square foot unit.
Correct.
I mean, and that's what we're talking about, is splitting a lot, 50-foot lot, into two lots and building about the same square footage on those two lots. And interestingly enough, it's better for the city of Cave Springs because those two units will generate more real estate tax, which funds the city municipal budget. We can sell two townhomes at $450,000 each, or one garden home at $750,000 each, and the tax revenue from the more dense development creates more revenue for the city of Cave Springs, which the city of Cave Springs needs over the next 25 to 50 years. So that's one of our changes in our mindset, our philosophy, is we're looking at what can help the city of Cave Springs in terms of tax revenue. So we would ask that you approve it. We think it's a great plan. We love the additional product. We think the streetscape's going to look better. I don't think it's going to impact the neighbors. It's in the middle of our subdivision. When you all approved our PZD, you said focus your density in the middle, and we're doing that. We're not focusing it on the exterior, with the one exception up by the power line easement. So, with that said, we appreciate your time and hope that you'll approve it.
Thank you, Bob. Any further comments up here? Questions, concerns? Do I have a motion or direction from anyone?
I'll make a motion that we do not approve the way it is today. I think we feel that that area is as packed as we wanted it to be already when we did the original approval. So I respectfully say, not this time.
Okay, Sandra's made a motion against this amendment to the PZD for tonight. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
So I have a motion and a second for against tonight. For this one, David, can we do a roll call for this, please?
So clarify the motion is for Kim,
says no?
Yes.
Yes means no.
Yes means no.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Fallon.
I would be against the denial, so I would say yes. No.
Nancy.
Yes.
Taylor. Taylor.
So that's a 3-2 against. So that means the motion tonight is denied.
Yes.
Did you have 3 in the vote in the affirmative and 2 in the negative?
But the yes meant no. Yes
Meant no, like denied.
Yes. Yeah.
And 3, so the motion, so the amendment is denied.
Yes.
Yes, that is correct. Okay. Moving on to the next item on the agenda tonight. Do we have another one for the same property or moving on? Sorry. Site development plan?
Yes.
It doesn't have a number. Let's see. Updated plans for.
Well, it's just beside development plan, there was nothing else associated with it. It's the Sonic property that we discussed. Yeah.
Oh, Sonic. Okay.
Call it Sonic.
Yes.
Yeah, we should have Sonic in the language here. Okay. Sorry. I was like, who's this?
I don't believe you have the applicant here.
No applicant or?
Oh, you?
My name's Glenn.
Okay.
I'm an engineer for Bates and Associates, the engineer on the project.
Welcome. Real fast, before you dive into anything, I want to get a staff report from David on this one so that we know where we are and what we're doing tonight.
Sorry, it's taking notes around paper, you know. Anyways, we've been working on this for a number of, I think more than a year at this point. I think everyone's fairly familiar with the site, the struggles. They resubmitted. We had a good talk at the work session. Kind of looking at the site, the applicant resubmitted the new plan Wednesday, Thursday of last week, something like that. I believe I got it sent out to y'all on Friday, and one of the things, you know, the new site plan was based on the comments from the planning commission work with me. Let's see if I can pull it up. Go on forward. Do you have anything that you want to discuss or questions about, you know, since you're waiting on me right this second?
I'm not the primary engineer at Bates that's been working on this. That was Addie. She's sick today and had to miss this. Yes. Hopefully I'll be able to answer any questions you have. She's a little more familiar with it than I am. I think she's available, so I can call her if there's anything really, really specific or technical. But she did kind of walk me through some of the things that have changed. We did try to just go ahead and do anything you asked for. So one of the main items on the site plan, we added a little stub out dead end to the property to the
north?
Yeah.
Cross connectivity.
Yeah, not all the way to the north, because there's the road that kind of cuts around, but kind of north central, I guess. Yeah.
Hey, do we have the resubmitted documents or no? Those have not been written?
Yes, but I sent it to y'all last week.
That's not what we're looking at.
I think this is the like comment response
Okay, I was gonna say that
version.
resubmittal.
So, well,
That's what I'm showing in my inbox as well.
that would kind of go with the resubmittal. So that's our response to staff comments that kind of explains how we addressed each of them and what changed.
What those changes are.
Yes.
Not just that we addressed it.
Well, he's saying that it shows in there, right?
No,
Well,
it's not.
no,
It's
I believe there would also be a civil plan set
Yeah, we're looking for the actual.
that would be, I believe it would be dated 7/29. Hopefully that's in there. If not,
Yeah. Sorry, I probably drug the wrong attachment from the stuff that I sent y'all to the USB.
engineering is not finished as far as we did yet.
Oh, that's awesome.
The other like sort of like major change, we did add an additional fire hydrant pretty close to the building. I know that was a concern that was raised at that meeting. There are a few other more minor things that have changed in the layout, but those are the two more substantial ones that I know about. This is more of a visual thing, not really a change, just something we added to the set, which hopefully it'll be displayed at some point, but we added a page showing the proposed RDOT improvements, which are, we did our best to display that. I mean, we're working off of kind of a image of their plan, so we tried to integrate that as best we could and match it up, but there are one or two things that we're not 100% certain what they're going to be doing, and nothing we can really control. It's kind of up to RDOT when they get around to 100% finalizing what they're going to be doing, but we did try to include an extra page just giving a little more detail on that. It is kind of.
Did you email it to the commissioners? What I have in my inbox is the comments. So it just shows that it's a comment response. He's just marked it saying, hey, yeah, we've addressed this. I don't see the actual what we did to address it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I mean,
I
know
can,
we checked the boxes, but I would like to see what we did to check the box.
I could,
If we can get that email to us or somehow display it on the screen.
if y'all can forward it, that's fine. I can call Addie and see if she can send it as a separate email right now. Do y'all?
I don't know that.
You got it.
He's the only one that I know. All I have is
I've got one set that's 11 by 17 with me, but. Yeah, sorry, it's not like a full size set. But the primary changes that I know about are we added this cross connection. So it stops not 100% at the property line, because there is an existing house there, but when they end, their fence is also a bit over the property line. We're only that alone. But if the developer comes in and buys this, wants to hedge that, or if they want to.
All right, there you go. Sorry. I was pulling up the email and I saw the attachments and I was trying to click on the attachments And there was 2 emails down that I had to scroll through for the actual link, so I was not really sure about that. So there's the overall site plan stuff out that you're discussing.
Yes.
We'll go back to what you're talking about.
That's the largest just layout change that I know of, and then did add a fire hydrant, which I don't know if it's really visible on the site plan. It may be covered up by some of the callouts. It is visible on the utility plan. It's a couple pages down, and then before that we'll go past. That's the RDOT layout. That's what they're going to be doing. They're putting in a big traffic circle kind of to the northeast, and widening and expanding the road through there. So I mean, I think that'll be really nice.
It's nice to see that your entrance is far in the back from where they're putting the separation. Utility plan.
Yeah, so the additional hydrant that we added is kind of just to the southwest of where that stub is.
Just right here?
Just south of there. Yeah, yep, right there in that green space, yeah. So that's our proposed hydrant location. Gets it close enough to the building that if it were needed, just in the green space there. Hopefully that's okay.
If you look at the landscape plan, if we have a hydrant there, are we gonna be able to hit our parking island tree?
You have to do what?
Hit a tree, if you have a tree in there, if there's a hydrant there, then
we don't have a tree proposed in that specific island. With there being 31 spaces, we had 4 required parking lot island trees. We have 1 proposed on each side of the stub out, 1 proposed on the east side, just to the east of that row of parking, and then 1 kind of between the sidewalk to the north of the building.
I was working on
So that's those, the ones labeled ER1, I believe are the parking lot, yes.
Okay, ER1?
Yes, so there's the one there, one to the west, another one to the west, and then there's one just north of the building. Right there, yeah. So those, it meets the number. Those are the best locations we could come up with for them.
sorry, I cannot see that from here. So what's the, and if I need to be able to see it, so.
Yeah, the red
Looks like
are.
a tree on an underground utility easement right there. So we have a tree sitting on top of the utility line, that cannot work. We have other, our red has lot, like those are the parking lot island tree, tree or tree tree, I think, that's not one shade tree. You go over to the plan list that we looked at last week. Have those comments in there, where we have the right actual tree names. Scroll up on the screen.
And service
The
area.
first name is not our.
Service area?
Well, it doesn't say service, we get to ARB or something.
Oh, common.
It's an incorrect
Oh,
name.
the serviceberry, I think the scientific name is Amyloratium arborearii.
Is that really the name? I'm a landscape architect, sorry. That's not the correct, I don't think that's the correct name for a tree. I
This is something we brought up last time, I just need to make sure we have the right plants in the right places.
Okay.
No, it's not.
That's what,
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
our plan
no.
list doesn't reflect like code requirements, and the placement is on top of the utilities, so that's not gonna be approved.
Okay. I do think that tree is just outside that utility easement. It's like a foot or two out.
They don't have roots.
I'm not worried about the easement, it's your placement. It needs to be reviewed by McClellan. Like it's our landscape.
Yeah, there's separation between utility lines and trees.
Okay. Yeah.
So I would take notes on, it needs to be location underground because of roots and everything, but the actual utilities, not so much just because of the easement, but also the species needs to match the use of what you're putting in. And the plant list needs to be modified to have the correct information for the actual trees they plan to install.
Okay.
So those were all mentioned last time and they're still on there, it looks like. It sounds like McClellan has not finished the review on this. So with that, do you have any questions for us as a commission or for McClellan while you're here?
Let's see. So would I'm just trying to think through where else we could potentially move that tree if we need to. There's a lot of utilities on this one that are kind of cutting up the site.
Are they existing or proposed?
Mostly proposed, yeah.
That's the concern. I would say lay it out so that it accommodates all of city code.
Yes. I'm not personally as familiar with the landscape plans in general.
That's understood.
Engineer, not a landscape architect, as you are, but
yeah, I just know that we looked at this heavily last time.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I don't see the comments that I made last time addressed. And I also don't have a copy of the rest of the packet to look through any of the engineering. McClellan's going to provide their review. But as for me, unless the commission has any other opinion, I make a motion on the table tonight until we get it modified to where we are good to go. Fallon's made a motion to table, Nancy second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This item is tabled for tonight. Is there any additional business that we can discuss? If not, do we have any motions to adjourn? Nancy's motion to adjourn, I will second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.